Hey Hoopers, this is a beginner tutorial for how to pick out your fished hoop and tubing. As a beginner, I suggest people start with a hoop that comes to your belly button. So a good way to get this measurement is to grab a tape measure, like a hardware tape measure, one that you can preferably lock, and measure from the floor all the way to your belly button. Once you get this measurement in inches, this will be the size of your hoop, which will be, for example, mine is a 39 OD, which is outer diameter. So it's the outermost point of the hoop to the other outermost point of the hoop. This measurement is great for on body. This will add also some weight, having it this big, and it will give you a good on body foundation. You can still be able to do off body moves like weaves and jump throughs and things like that. You can still be able to do isolations as well, as it will be a little heavier and harder on the hand. You might want to move to a smaller hoop for off body moves. So I suggest maybe something like a 36 OD Poly Pro. That's what I'm using right here. This hoop is great for off body. It will be a little lighter. Maybe still be able to do on body, but if you can't, you can always grab your big hoop for that. This is great for things like escalators, and it'll be easier for isolations because the hoop will be a little lighter. And then if you wanted to, you can always move down to even smaller hoops. This is a 34-inch OD Poly Pro. And this is my preferred size, a 31 OD Poly Pro. Smaller hoops are going to give you a faster reaction time, so that's why I suggest a bigger hoop for beginners, slower the action, so you can really get a good foundation on these new moves. Now for a picture slideshow of all different types of tubings. This is showing you the different sizes, so we have 7/8, 3/4, 11/16, 5/8, and a 1/2 inch. This is the 7/8 tubing. This is great for beginners, and what I suggest, as it will add more weight to the hoop to get a good on-body foundation. This is your 3/4 tubing. It is common in the hooping world. I use it as my main tubing. It is going to be lighter than the 7/8, and you will find it a lot in hoop shops. It is great for off body, on body, anything really. It is Poly Pro, so it is going to be bouncy and more reactive. This is going to be your 11/16 tubing. This is between a 3/4 and 5/8, which means actually the tubing on the inside is going to be a lot thicker, so it will add an extra little bit of weight. A lot of people really like this tubing. It came into the hooping world pretty recently. So this is going to be your 5/8 tubing, probably the most popular tubing in the hooping world. I would suggest this one to be no bigger than a 31, as it can become very flimsy, and it's also great if you were going to get it in minis, or doubles are really awesome with this tubing as well. This is going to be your 1/2 inch tubing, very light, great for minis and smaller hoops, very reactive. And this is going to be your HDPE tubing. This tubing is great to withstand harsh temperatures. A lot of people also really just love to use this tubing. It is not as bouncy and reactive as Poly Pro. It is also a great tubing for beginners if you wanted to use that as well, and it will be less prone to crack or bend from the heat or the cold. This is what we call a travel sectional hoop. This can be broken down as you see in the middle and then put back together. There you see it as a hoop. This will add a little extra weight because there will be more metal pieces in it because of the push button parts, but it's great if you wanted to have a multicolored hoop, and it's also great for travel because you can just put break it all down and just put it right into your suitcase. A lot of people love sectionals. And this is the end of the tubing tutorial. Thank you all for watching. Happy hooping, and DM me if you have any questions.